There we go. Hello. Whoops. Echo. There might be an echo. There we go. Okay. Hello. I am getting ready to make a quilt top. Oh, I still got my headphones on from my other computer. Just a sec. Oh, it's from that. I'm already confusing myself. I've only been here. I always come in when you're making your supper, Linda. I got to figure out better timing for myself. I'll show you this right quick since you're lurking, and I'm going to be back and forth a little bit. I'm still kind of prepping stuff before I can start really getting any sewing done. But I'm fucking around with a new camera angle. We went to the store and got this. We went to the store and got this. So we got the mini pieces, and then we got the larger panel. Let's see, which way am I going? I'm going that way. And then we got the larger panel, like that. And I'm basically just going to put it all together into a quick quilt top, bounded, so that there's going to be that and that. And this is my yardage. So that's my yardage. So I'm doing that. I've got a really awkward tight corner here. So I've got that, this, and my yardage. And then the only other color I'm using is black. And it's going to be something like that. So the centerpiece is, they're not scale, obviously. The centerpiece is going to be the big panel. Then 3 inches of black. Then these. I'm just going to cut this in half and put one on each side. Then some more black. Then some yardage, top and bottom, and then finish it in black. So it's going to be a really, really. I'm keeping it simple because I'm keeping it simple. We went to the fabric store the other day and spotted this and just couldn't say no to ourselves. I'm still kind of setting up. So I've got to go over there and get those strips ironed so I can start putting stuff together. So I'm going to be back and forth. I'm hoping that I can get the top done today because I'm not doing anything fancy with anything. I'm just going to take the entire 3 smaller ones. I'm just going to sew them side by side and we're going to go from there. So we'll see how that goes. But anyway, I'm going to get started. Enjoy your cooking. If you have a second and you notice that my sound is all fucked up because of me moving around the room, if you would kindly let me know, that would be awesome. But otherwise, enjoy it. I want to know what you're having for dinner. Anyway. So that, you can see that actually. And then this is getting cut in half. I'm going to cut that in half in a minute. I got to iron those. I always iron them. I always iron these in half first, staying away from the crease. And then I just open it up and do the crease. It seems to be less, for me, it seems to work really well. Until I throw one on the floor. Yeah, I'll just fold them in half. I'll just fold them in half to iron, and I iron from like here down, staying away from the crease. And then I just open it up. and steam the crap out of the creases. Okay, I'll get these on first. I have to double check my chart. Okay, so I have to cut this one down the middle. I'm gonna cut this one down the middle. No, you know what? I'm gonna sew the black onto the big piece first. There. Get that over there. There we go. I suppose I need to go that way a little bit more. Okay. Whoa, not okay. There it is. Tomaya Spirit, hi there. Yeah, I'm just doing I'm doing a quilt top. We wandered off to the fabric store and noticed something that we just couldn't say no to. So I'm making Lisa a quilt. So I'm doing just the top. Quite often I'll do a quilt as you go, but today I'm going to do the top and then sew it all together afterwards. So I'm just doing this right now. But I expect to be pretty, I expect that, I don't know if I'm going to be talkative and not very, I mean, I don't know if I'm going to be not very talkative today or not. I always say that, I'm trying to get stuff done. And then I just chat and do more talking than working. So who knows, but thanks for stopping by. There we go. I hate these being transparent. They're so easy to lose track of. It's funny, people get intimidated by the threading and once you've done it a few times, you like don't even have to think about it. Every machine has its own specific thing. Okay. Now, I've got the black there and I don't want it showing. So I am going to do this backwards. Usually I put the narrow piece on top. This time I'm going to put the narrow piece underneath because then I can sew if I trim off the black first, then I also have to include seam allowance. If I leave the black on, I can sew just exactly to the inside of the line where the black changes to thing. And then I can keep a little tiny bit more of my width until I get to here. Okay. That's okay. Back to the table. Or not. Do I have to go back to the table? No, I don't have to go back to the table. There's my little short ruler. If you want to be able to sew exactly on the line, and there's sections where you can't see the line, then get your ruler out. Because going from the back, make sure there's a line. There's no point in going to all of this trouble to save that width. Oh, I have about 10 vintage sewing machines. All the rest are modern. I've got 3. I've got this one, the Janome, and then I've got 2 Singers that I use. Yeah, I usually make everybody seasick by running the camera around. But yeah, so this area here, it's going to be hard to see. It's going to be hard to see because this is black. This is also dark. I want to sew exactly along the line because if I trim it, then I'm going to lose seam allowance. And it's already narrow. I don't want to lose it. So I'm just adding a line through this area. I don't need to do it through here. This area is obvious, but when it gets to here where the colors are a lot closer, then I'm just doing that. I always talk through what I'm doing, even if the people I'm talking to know exactly what the hell I'm doing. That way, if anybody else wanders by and ends up joining in or watching or whatever, they can pick up. I don't know if it's a helpful tip for you, but it might be a helpful tip to anybody else that wanders in. And of course, I'm self-taught. All of my quilting stuff is essentially self-teaching. So if you have a helpful tip for me, I am all ears. My big thing right now is because of the type of sewing that I do for the Etsy shop, I tend to focus on speed, which isn't necessarily a great combination with quilting. Quilting requires a lot more patience, and quite often a lot more patience than I actually have. So I like to focus on patterns and designs that are going to be relatively easy. I also have a really bad tendency to end up with a 3/8 inch or even up to a 1/2 inch seam allowance. So I always try to plan my projects so that if I'm working on something that's specific, then I try to then that's my opportunity to chairs on carpet. They just don't want to move. If I'm working with something with a specific seam allowance, then that's my opportunity to slow down. What are you caught on? Oh, just a little fray got caught there. And I'm really bad for not wanting to pin. Yeah, there's more measuring, ironing, and cutting. That's what I'm kind of doing right now. I've got everything set up back here. And I'm going as I go. I'm putting the black on each side of this right now. I am keeping this really simple. Really, this is a really simple design. I'm putting it on flannelette so I can have a lighter blanket. It's going to be a couch blanket. Well, that's what Lisa's probably going to use it as. She's probably going to use it as a couch blanket, which means you're going to be, generally speaking, using it while you're fully clothed. It can be a lighter blanket. Yay. But yeah, I have a habit of dropping into, it's kind of that thing. It's like each different type of thing. The clothing is a different type of sewing than making bags and the stuff that I make. And quilting is a different kind of sewing still, because like the stuff I do for the shop requires a degree of precision, which is fair enough. But this requires even more precision, usually slowing down and patience, which I don't always have. Anyway. I don't think I held that up for you. I don't think I've held this up for you yet. So that's the sewing machine. This is what I'm working with. We got a panel. And then from the same collection, you can just barely see it over there, little mushroom houses and stuff. And then I've got some mushroom house yardage. But yeah, I always default to trying to hurry, and I know it, and I'm aware of it. So I'm trying to work positively with my own bad habits. Mind you, I gotta back up and say it right. I've made God knows, I've made 15 or so quilts already. But I love every one of them. But this is about whenever I have the time and the wherewithal, I also try to focus on building up those other skills. So yeah, like what I do for the shop is a lot of mark your line and then just sew along the line, because it allows you to go a lot faster. Mark your line first, then sew. So, and I hate pinning. That's my biggest thing. I don't like to pin. And I fuck myself up with that all the time. But I don't care. It's that catch-22 thing. It's like, well, do you care? Not really. Okay, then you're fine. Oh, this is hard to see all the way up. I got to do this whole side. Once I get over here on the machine, I can see the line, but it's not. It's going to be easy to get distracted and lose track of the line. Oh. But I like staying. I like staying right on. I like staying as close on top of that line as I can. There we go. Yeah, the other side had a nice bright spot in it. Anyway, usually I do it. Usually I'm sewing with the smaller piece on top, but I want to follow that line. I want this to finish at 3 inches, so I cut 4 inches because I can quite often make. I don't mind if it comes out. I don't mind if it's not exact. It's going to be, the pieces are going to be big enough that it's not going to be obvious if it's off by a little bit. I said that weird. Like if I'm working with 2-inch pieces, you need to make sure that everything is proper. If this kind of, if I end up with, if I get my 3.5 and one ends up, if one finishes at 3 3/4 and the other one finishes at 3 5/8, nobody is going to notice that. Okay. Anyway, hi to whoever else is in. I think that might be Linda. She's having dinner. So I'm going to get this. I'm going to be back over there. I don't know. I really hope to have this done. Okay, if I can get this done quickly, and yeah, I'm more of a craft sewer than a garment sewer. I'm self-taught too. I love pinning. I love pinning a lot of. TI.RS. I'm assuming it's a massive typo, but I'm not. I speak Taiwanese, but that one's eluding me. I use those big courage pins with parts on the end. They're easier. Oh yeah. I got an entire dish of those. They're not as big, but yeah, this is also going to be really easy because I'm using flannelette, and flannelette does not require the schmancy quilting all over the place. I do the schmancy quilting, but I don't do much of it. I'm not very good at it. I practice when I can. I buggered my shoulder though. Not in any way that matters. But sitting here doing this for a few hours has not been appealing lately. So I haven't been doing any heavy quilting projects. I'm doing an ugly quilt project though that is turning out really well. I'm really enjoying how that one's going. It's all quilt as you go. Have you been in lately to see my ugly quilt? No, I can't. Okay, I've already said it, so now I'm going to stop and do it. This is for my ugly quilt. Nothing's the same size. And then as I build a collection, so I do this, and then I just do self-binding to finish it. So I do that, throw it in the bin. Do that, throw it in the bin. Some stuff I'm making a bit of an effort over, and some stuff I'm just taking random shit, putting it together. When it's done, I will grab pieces and piece them all together until I get a 20-inch square, and then just zigzag everything together. Zigzag it all together, and then once I have enough 20-inch squares done, I'm going to zigzag those together, and I'll have a blanket. It's really helping me get through my stash, my scrap, which is really important because I end up with a lot of scrap. Ton. Actually, it's funny. I end up with a ton of scrap, but now that the shop's closed, the shop has been on hiatus for months now while I wait out both the tariffs and I'm waiting out the tariff issues to ship across the border because most of my buyers are Americans. Also waiting out the fact that Canada Post is pretty much guaranteed to be going on strike and nobody knows when. So waiting out the shipping issues. So now I don't have as big of a pile of scrap as I used to have, but I'm going to have some scrap when this is done for sure. I'm just sewing all the way to the end because it's going to be easier to handle and iron and do all the things. But I'm actually cutting off like all of that. I'm going to cut off all of that to get it all level. But I need to iron it. I need to iron it, trim the other stuff. So I'm going to be off in the back. I don't know if you're going to be able to hear very well. I've just discovered that my camera, okay, I remembered that I had a little gadget that I can connect to my camera that lets me plug it in a little differently. And now I can do this, but I'm not 100% sure how well the sound is picking up. Corsage. Oh, okay. Yeah. They are a lot longer. Yeah, I like these. For quilting, I like these. These are slightly angled safety pins. So they work really well. I also have, like, instead of regular sewing pins, these are about twice as long as the regular sewing pins. So I definitely use those too. But I just don't pin. I'm horrible for it. Oh, home with pink eye. Ew, pink eye blows monkey chunks. You on eye drops yet? They get you eye drops? They have over-the-counter eye drops up here now for pink eye. So we actually have to we actually keep them in the house all the time because Bruno gets pink eye. Not pink eye. He gets eye irritation a lot because he's a diabetic. We can't fuck around with it. So every time his eye starts to, they both get eye irritation. Shayla's part Shih Tzu. They're prone to eye irritation. Bruno's a diabetic. He's prone to eye irritation. So we keep that stuff around the house all the time, and it works fast. But okay, slippers on so I don't get my widow feeties need to stay warm. Over there for some ironing. Over here for some ironing, and over there for some more cutting. I'm kind of draping this. I'm kind of moving. I should just put it right here. I'm keeping, this has been ironed. I'm keeping it draped so I don't wreck it. I have no idea what the sound is like. So a little feedback on that would be helpful. Okay. Actually, I'm not concerned about which way it goes. I am concerned that the iron needs to be on, though. Okay. While I'm waiting for the iron to heat up. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm a type 2 diabetic. But yeah, Bruno's a diabetic. He gets pink eye all the time. And we opt to, for him, we opt that at the first sign of irritation, we just start treating it. And then if it's still gunky, their eye gets a little, with dogs at least, their eyes get a little gunky. I got to reach over here and get my scissors. If his eyes are still gunky after the first 24 hours, then we'll treat him for at least 3 solid days. But we treat him 4 times a day because he's a diabetic. I think the medication, but this is like Visine for red eye or something. It's working really well. So. But if the Visine for red eye doesn't work, then we have a vet just down the street, so we don't fuck around. But dogs do. It's a different set of rules with a diabetic dog. You have a lot more leeway. I'm only a type 2 diabetic. I haven't had any. I haven't had any of those kind of problems. I've been very lucky. There. So I've got black on either side. I've got black on either side of that, and then on either side of the black, we're putting one of these. So these are 3. I'm not cutting them. I'm just going to do them exactly as is. This is supposed to be a quick, low effort couch blanket. Yeah. Yeah, I'm a type 2. Have been for a long time now. Whoops, this is upside down. Type 2 is easier in some ways, but it's more scary in other ways. So this is going to be the other side. Oh, yeah, I haven't decided which side is going to be. I haven't decided which side is going to be which yet because I don't really have to try that hard, if that makes sense. Okay. I'll have to check the back and see if I need to pin them. Whoa, get over here. Everybody has their own system for ironing, and this is, oh, pardon me. Thank God I'm over here so you can't hear me belching as loudly as you normally would. I'm just ironing right now. Ironing right now to get everything more or less in place, and then I'm going to steam the crap. Then I'm going to flip it and steam the crap out of it. While also trying not to, I'm trying not to pull too hard when I'm going back and forth. Okay, there we go. My cord is gripping it. Come here. Come here, come here, come here, come here, come here. You are tangled. That's okay. I'll fix that. I'll fix that in a second. There. That's done. That goes there. I'm just going to put this here for a minute. There we go. I'm pretty quick. I'm pretty quick to move the ironing board around, but I always make sure I hold the iron. Okay. Yeah, so this is, everything else is going to be building up around it. So now I've got this one. Wait, it's going to go this side first, I guess. I think I'm going to do this one with the unicorn on it. On this side, I know I'm just like whipping things around in my lap. I think I'm going to do the one with the unicorn on it on this side because then when it's done, the unicorn is going to be looking towards the center. So let's see. I'm almost. Wait a second. Where's my? I did a little chart. I made a little chart. Yeah. Okay. I made a little chart because what I'm going to do is what I'm going to do is this right here is going to, I've got some yardage with mushroom houses. It's going to go here. So this is what I'm working on right now. But the outside on here and here is going to be like a 6-inch strip going all the way up because it's going to be really easy. If I do everything all the way out to the width, then I have to add a 6-inch piece onto each. What's going on? Oh, there we go. Just a sec. Do that one. Do that one. I'm gonna finish this. This is almost done. This section is almost done. Then I'm gonna add the yardage to the top and bottom, and then I'm gonna add the rest of the border to the top and bottom. Oh wait. This has to be lined up. This has to be lined up. This has to be lined up properly because I need this. I need this to line up with the top of that. I need those to line up. So I can either trim them now. I'm going to trim them now. I'm going to trim them now because I'm going to trim. Okay. Most people are going to line them up and pin them into place. I'm going to trim them now because I know how I sew. And when it comes to sewing like this, I know what my weak spots are. If I trim this now, then it's just going to fall into place exactly where I want it. That's okay. You have a good one, Tomaya. Tomaya Spirit. Yeah, you have a good one. Thanks for stopping by. So I'm going to trim this. I'm going to trim the top. I'm going to trim this top, and I'm going to trim the bottom, because then this will, and then I'm also going to do the same. I'm going to trim to the same length here, right here, because then this and this will automatically fall into place, and I don't have to agonize about whether or not I lined it up properly, because I'm going to be cutting all of that off anyway for the next layer of border. So doing it now is a better match for how I personally sew. So let us get that taken care of. And, okay, this can go over here. Oh, and for anybody still hanging around, I have a clip-on microphone that I can use for when I'm moving around too much. So if the sound is really fucked up because of me moving around. So yeah, that's going to be going above. So I need to keep that handy. I'm going to move it over here. If I can get this top done, which I think I'm going to, I've got a second top that I want to work on today as well. Okay, let's get this. I'm going to be standing for a bit. Over here. That can just sit right there for now. That goes there. Okay. I'm going to go 1/2 inch. I'm going to give myself a 1/2 inch thing here. Because I always do. I always end up with nearly 3/8 of an inch on my seams. Okay, let's go. There we go. Okay, that didn't quite go to the end. There we go. Half inch. Half inch. That one's done. I might save that piece. Go into the scrap bin, become a piece for my ugly quilt. 1/2 inch again on the bottom. Oh, I can also put in my line while I'm here too. Get over there a little tiny further. There we go. 1/2 inch. I'm just measuring a 1/2 inch, not from where the black and the color meet. I'm just measuring a 1/2 inch from there. Come on. Oh, come on. Don't let me be awkward. I just got to make sure this is fully onto the cutting mat. By the way, if you pull this to get it out of the way, it can actually make that shift in a way that you don't want. Then you end up with it. Then when you let everything fall back into place, it's not nearly as straight as you want to think that it is. There we go. Half inch. Half inch, half inch, half inch. Scrap bucket. Hey, Donna, how you doing? Oh, and Sandra's here. Hi. I'm making a quick little quilt top. I've gotten this far, putting a black on either side of that. And I just had to trim it. I just had to trim it so that everything's going to line up the way I want it to. And then this one, I'm also trimming. Do I need to trim this one? Yes, I do. Okay. I'm trimming both top and bottom to half an inch because I always make longer inches. They always say do a 1/4 inch seam. I always end up with half, 3/8 to a half anyway. So I'm going to be sewing that one on. That one's going on the left side. I'm just getting it trimmed up into place. So how you guys? Yeah, this is a new one. Oh, Trisha's here too. Everybody just showed up all at once. This is a new quilt. This is a new quilt. We stopped in at the quilting store just for a quick look around the other day. Spotted this fabric, couldn't say no. It's going to be Lisa's new lap blanket. Oh, oh, I can't do it right now. There. Okay. Now, I get to sew this on. This is gorgeous. This is absolutely gorgeous. Now I got to double check where things are going to go. I decide it doesn't really matter which one goes on which side, but I realized which one's got the unicorn on it. Yeah, if I put the unicorn on this side, the side over here, if I put the unicorn on this side, then it's going to face the middle. So I'm going to put that one on first. So I've already sewn on a piece of black because we kind of just, if this goes side by side, it's just too busy with not enough. Don't mind that it's black in between, but we just didn't want it to be super, super busy. So I'm going to go over here. I'm not sure what to do about my computer. I got a new computer not too long ago, which was awesome for me, but it's bigger. And the cords. Oh, oh, hospice. I'm so sorry. I'm glad you've got it with you though. This is you know how a computer has a little transformer? This one has a huge transformer. And unless maybe if I move a stool over there or something, but it doesn't reach the floor from the tabletop. So I have to keep everything kind of up higher, but hasn't been too bad so far. I remember making that quilt. That was fun. That was nice to make. Okay. So I don't know if you guys were here or not, but what I'm doing, because this is already a panel, I want to keep it as wide as possible, but I actually don't want the blue because there's not enough. So I'm going to sew, I can just barely see it, but I'm going to sew just inside of the blue and follow that all the way down. Because if I cut the blue off, if I sew it like this, then this is the seam allowance. But if I trim all this off first, then my seam allowance comes in. And I do wide seam allowances. So it could end up being like almost half an inch. So I'm just going to sew. I'm going to try and keep it just inside so I don't lose anything. And I trimmed it so that everything lines up so that I don't have to agonize about that part. Pardon me. Okay. So, and this part here, oh, let me just turn this. I'm poking at stuff. I've been pretty good. We had a bit of a bug that we were trading back and forth for a bit, but that's all gone now. So this area here along the top, once I sew my next piece on, that's going to be gone too. So I'm just giving myself lots of space. I'm going to do a tiny little back stitch there. So yeah, so now I'm just trying to, now all I have to do is stay just inside this line. So I'm just keeping it lined up. As always, I'm not pinning because I'm fucking late. Well, the no caffeine. Okay. I've actually been doing really well. We've got a bunch of coffee. We've got a bunch of caffeine in the house. My doctor, in an abundance of caution, said to send me in for an abdominal ultrasound. So it's like, well, I'm just going to start drinking. I'm going to just go back to the caffeine for the next few days, because if caffeine is impacting me, they're not going to find it. They're not going to figure that out if I'm not drinking any caffeine. It's warped logic, but it's working for me. But once the pop that we do have in the house is gone, we're not getting any more. It's just going to be done. So basically, it's might as well drink it since we have it, and then we're just not going to do it anymore. But the no caffeine actually did really well. I had very few problems getting off of it. Oh, okay. Are you guys ready for a really gross story though? Who wants to hear a gross story that involves pooping? Because I will not inflict that on you without your consent. No, I'm not going to do that. It seems to be that there's a story. There's a thing that can happen called trapped gas. Okay, Donna wants to hear a gross story. She wins. There's a thing that can happen called trapped gas. Okay, so I go into the doctor and it's like going, well, I'm getting this thing where I'm getting like stomach pain, like over where my knot of gallbladder is. I've had a sensitive spot ever since getting my gallbladder out. So when I started getting, heartburn and gas issues recently, it's like, I should probably I'm only doing this out of caution. It's like, I should probably see the doctor and double check just on the off chance. Like, what if there's something that regularly happens? Oh yeah, it's been 20 years. This is common, yada, yada. It's an easy fix, blah, blah, blah. Went to that. That's why she's doing the ultrasound. It's like, let's just double check, make sure nothing's going on. So anyway, so she's examining me. No big deal. And they're pressing on my stomach. It's fine. Everything's fine. About 2 hours later, I had the most gassy poop ever. I'm just like, I'm like farting and pooping at the same time. Get up 5 minutes and I just cleaned right out, right? The pain went away instantly. There's this thing that can happen called trapped gas. And now I've heard of it. I've heard of trapped gas, but never really. It's like, okay, you got a gas bubble. It's not moving around. Well, if it gets really trapped, then it's just gurgling up there, causing discomfort and aggravation and abdominal discomfort and blah, 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 blah. And of course, it's mixing with whatever happened. Yeah. So basically, I think it's related, but her examination, because she's pressing, obviously released some trapped gas, and it was like, I don't know how to describe it. It was like bubbly pudding. It was really, really gross, but it was instant relief. And my stomach I've got a couple of irritated spots because it's 20, gas doesn't trap itself for 20 solid years. Okay. So I've still got my usual spots, but everything that I was complaining about disappeared. Like this happens. And this happened at the grocery store. I'm like, oh, where's your bathroom? Oh, thank God nobody else came in. Anyway, yeah. So and I get up and it's like, I'm done. It's like, okay, that was gross. Let's go see where Lisa is with the shopping. Oh, wait a second. But wait, there's more. And okay, it was this year. It was, oh my God. Like, it was like the most horrible thing, but instant relief. I haven't had a problem since. So yeah, I think I just had a really aggressive bout of trapped gas. And because I already have a sensitive spot, it's like, oh, let's trap some gas in your sensitive spot. So yeah. But I stayed off the caffeine. But then we were kind of thinking about it. It's like, well, you're booked for an abdominal ultrasound. If Pop is having anything to do with it, they're not going to find anything. And then you'll have wasted. It's not like, oh, I want to find out that it was all about the Pop. It's like, okay, so this one's done. This side's done. I found a different way to hook up my camera. Anyway, so that was the gross. Oh, look, 0 people watching now. But anyway, so that was the gross thing. But I will say, so that one's attached. Nope, that's upside down. Did I do it right? Oh, man, yeah, I did it right. See, now I got this one. This side's on. This side's on. And the unicorn is facing the middle. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I tore up a public restroom. Yeah, but you know what? You know, I'm not really a shy pooper like that, which is fine. But what I am is not what I am. But then you have to go around the rest of your day like that, and it's like, oh, ew, I'm so uncomfortable. I need a shower. So that was the rest of my day. But my God, it was. And don't forget, neither Lisa or I have gallbladders. And if you don't have a gallbladder, adventures in pooping is sometimes just what happens in your week. So I didn't have to have any concerns about feeling weird discussing it or anything either. So it was just like my doctor massaged the poop out of me. But yeah, about 2 hours after, just everything went away. That was the funny part, because I'm like, yeah, oh yeah, no, I'm fine. Let's get some yogurt, whatever. And I'm doing my thing. Nope, it goes over here. Got to put it on the right side of that line. And then I come out of the bathroom. I come out of the bathroom after the second trip in, and I'm like, my stomach feels better. She's like, what? So we got a good laugh out of it. But yeah, but that's good to know. That is good to know. Oh, and by the way, I don't think I've been on since I spoke to the doctor. My doctor is like unconcerned. It's like, well, we should probably just, it's like, well, because I was not reporting any of the symptoms that are the kind of symptoms that you need to worry about. I wasn't having. So she said, yeah. I said, we're gonna double check and make sure everything's okay, but don't worry about it. I don't think we're going to find anything that matters. I forget just exactly what she said. It's been over a week, right? Because that was last week. I forget exactly how she expressed it, but she made it crystal clear that, yeah, we're going to double check just to be sure, but there's not the things that I should be finding if it's serious aren't there. So I'm not finding symptoms for anything serious. She did point out how to say, she kind of did the thing. She she kind of poked and goes, okay, if it starts down here, that could be your appendix. So if any of this discomfort shifts into that area, especially if it's hard, especially if you can't touch it without pain. But other than that, yeah. So medical update, non-issue, how to poop, feel better. It's like so bad. Anyway, that's it. This is okay. Now from here, I'm going to go start building up the top and the bottom. And then when I'm done, I'm going to put another big piece from top to bottom all the way down the outside. So we're moving along. We're plugging along beautifully. Yeah, it's kind of weird. This is what Lisa and I were joking about too. Whenever I've got something going on, it's never anything serious. Oh my God, I've got this horrible abdominal pain. Yeah, it's gas. Okay. But okay, because this proves that I can be prone to trap gas. So with that in mind, like I said, I'm enjoying my last hurrah. But once this pop is gone, I may still have pop once in a while at restaurants and stuff like that, but going forward, there will be no gassy pops in the house. I'm also going to try and avoid caffeine because I already know for a fact that too much coffee irritates the crap out of my stomach. Anyway, okay. Back to do a little bit of ironing. So we are, where are we at? Which camera's going to show it the best? There. There. Anyway. Oops, sorry, puppy doodle. So there we are so far. So that's going to be wide. Now I have to put a black strip across the top and the bottom. And then I have, oh, it's over there. I'll show you in a minute. But then I have another one that's going to go, another, some mushroom houses that are going to go along the top and the bottom. And then I'm done. If I can get this done, I have another one that I want to start on. And I'm doing this, instead of using the schmancy batting, I'm going to be using, instead of doing schmancy batting, I'm going to be using flannelette. I'm going to take and sew two pieces together to get my width. Because I've got, I've got the luxury of having all kinds of that stuff. So I'm going to let it work for me. Okay. There we go. Come on. There we go. That one's done. And that one's going to be done. Going to be done. Okay. Whew. Okay. So now we are right here. It's hard to get a good look. It's hard to get, it's hard to get a good look because I always get screwed up on which way I need to move for the camera. So now I'm getting these back out. That sits there for a minute. I have a little chart that Lisa, this is for Lisa, 3-inch, 3-inch. So I'm going to need 23, 33, 43, 44, 45, 51, 2, 2. Okay, I've got that. I have to sew these two together, but I also have to have two more. This is the same black I used for lining and backing on bags and tarot cloths. So I'm doing 4 inches. Do. I'll be back in a second. There we go. I gotta, no, stay up there. Yeah, sorry about that. I figured I might as well pee while I'm at it. Okay, this comes back. This all comes back. That sits there for a minute. I got to sew these two together. I did a bunch more on the ugly quilt. I've got, doesn't seem like that much. I got these done. I got these ones done. That stuff I've already been working on. And then I got, these ones are ready to go. I just need to trim them to fit and then get the backings going. So they're ready to go. So yeah, I got a bunch more done. Not as much as I would have liked, but I got a bunch more. Oh, good luck with Matt's mom. Now, Ugly Quilt is progressing beautifully. Okay, I'm debating. I'm just going to put these together and sew them. Sometimes you can, a lot of people like to do an angle, but I don't think I'm that worried about it. It's not really going to be, when you're sewing two black together, the lines and all that stuff are way less obvious and visible. I'm going to go backstitch though. How's the sound been? Because with me moving around, oh, neighbors are barbecuing. Oh, I like it when neighbors barbecue. I'm not gonna trim this back to a 1/4 inch. There's salvage here. I just ignored the salvage, so now I'm gonna trim it out. Yeah, see. Ah, Linda's back. See, it's not that, it's kind of hard when there's a light behind it, but it's not that obvious. Oh, cool. You know what? If they did, for me to have cataract surgery, I would have to be knocked out. There's no fucking way. I'm a big whiner. I have a bit of an eye phobia though, so not a surprise. But no, I'm glad it went well though. Bruno had cataract surgery. They definitely knocked dogs out for that. Yeah, I've got a clip-on mic that I can use. It's not charged up right now. I can't switch over today, but I got a clip-on mic that I can use if me wandering around is just too difficult to hear. But I'm loud. It will carry. I don't think I should be ironing this, but I don't think I'm going to worry about it. I don't need to worry till later, and I'll be giving this a second zap with the iron. So that one stays here. Now what I'm doing, Now what I'm doing is I'm going to put that all the way across the top. There's going to be leftover. There's going to be some leftover, but I'm going to go all the way across. I'm going to go all the way across the top, and I'm going to do the same thing where this blue meets the actual design. I'm going to be staying just barely on the inside of that. There it is. Where is it? La 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 la. So I'm going to go a little bit extra out the top. This is 2 40-inch pieces. This is 2 40-inch pieces. Where am I going? So this is 2 40-inch pieces sewn together. I'm going to have like 30, 35 inches at the end when it's done, which I don't care about. Because I have the luxury of having extra fabric. If you don't have the luxury of extra fabric, then measure everything first. Because I could have just sewn 3 pieces together, 40, 60. Yeah, I could have sewn 3 pieces together and pretty. Okay, this needs to be on usually I put the big piece under and the small piece over. This time I'm doing it reverse. I'm doing the big piece over because that's where the coloration variation is that I'm going to be following. So I'm flipping it over. I'm flipping the whole works over, lining it up so that my sew line is going to go just barely on the inside of that. Yeah, that's what Lisa said. I mentioned that I mentioned in passing, I forget when, that if I do any bigger projects like this, that my voice might not carry. And Lisa does the same thing. Your voice carries just fine. Don't worry about it. Oh. I wandered off course the tiniest bit, but I don't think it'll show up. We'll find out. Something else I can always do when it's done, like if I finish up and realize there's a tiny bit of blue showing through, I can always come back and fix it. No caffeine. I'm having caffeine. I get caffeine for the next week or so until the pop that we have in the house is gone. And I'm enjoying it for what it's worth, for all I'm worth. But I went caffeine free for the last week or so, and I was fine. I didn't even have a caffeine headache, which I thought I was going to get a caffeine headache. I thought I was going to get a big ass caffeine headache, and I never did. So I got really lucky. Are you crying for me, or are you crying for yourself? Oh, are you catching up? Ooh, have a nice lunch, Trish. Trish, do you go by Trish, or do you care? Because I'm really bad for shortening names, and if anybody cares, I try to keep track of that. Okay, there it is. Well, that works out. Man, I did not need much. I only needed that. That's where this, I'll show you. I will show you, because I always show you guys. I'm all about show and tell. Still doesn't change the fact that it had to happen. Doesn't change the fact that I'm too lazy to use pins too. So there's that. Okay, that's okay. That's not going to hurt anything. That goes that way. Look, oh, I'm almost to the end. Trisha or Patty, it doesn't matter as long as it's not Pat, Patty, or Patricia. Okay, I wouldn't call you. I don't think I would call you Pat, Patty, or Patricia, because I had a cousin that was a Patricia, and she wasn't anybody's favorite. So that sounds crappy. I would have no problem using that name, but it would not occur to me. It would not occur to me to shorten somebody's name to that without. I'm saying it all fucked up, but I think you know what I mean. Because I know plenty of people that go by any of those. Okay. So yeah, so this is done. Yeah, that's all I needed. I just needed, there's where I sewed the two pieces together. I just needed from there to there. But I'm using more 3-inch pieces along the top. So I'll have plenty of opportunity to use this again. That's going to go that way. That's going to go that way. That's going to be, I bet you this is supposed to be a 6-inch piece. Let's double check. Nope, 3. Woo! Oh, the 6-inch. Okay, I'm doing the 6-inch strip all the way up the sides. Okay. For a second there, I thought I fucked it up. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, Sandra's catching up. I don't have a problem. I'm like bleh. I have no problem with that. Okay, what trapped gas is like because your intestines go like this, right? So a trapped gas is because it's gotten up into a curve in the piping that's sitting in a spot that makes it difficult for it to move. So it's not about whether or not you refuse, oh, you're giving yourself a stomachache because you need to fart and you're not letting it out. It's not that kind of trapped gas. It's like and apparently there's a really common spot. There's a really common spot, and it's like up in here because it's part of your large intestine. So the gas traps at the top of the curve of your large intestines. And because there's still plenty of room for everything to move, it just kind of stays there, aggravating the shit out of you. So that's what apparently it was. But yeah, she massaged my stomach. She didn't massage my stomach. It wasn't like, I'm a doctor and I'm going to massage your stomach. It's like, does it hurt here? Does it hurt here? Does it hurt here? And it ends up being effectively the same as a massage. So if you have a problem and you can't fart, go visit your doctor. My tummy hurts. Let them massage your stomach. Nope, I'm doing it. See, I'm lining it up. I'm lining it up this way again as if this is going to be the top and I need to line it up the opposite. Okay, where you at? Which way are we looking at here? That's what I'm after. And also make sure I grab the right spot. Yeah, this kind of feels upside down for me, but it's okay. It's not hurting anything. It's fine. It's absolutely fine. Flip it all over. We haven't done, I have not done I've done quilted. I do lots of quilt as you go. I have done where you do the big top and then have to put it all together. I've done a few of those, but they're usually smaller. I think this might end up, no, is this going to be one of the biggest ones I've done? I'm trying to think of what all I've done. No, I did a queen size one of these. I did a queen size. My shoulder still hates me a little bit, not in any way that matters. So Lisa has volunteered that because with Quilt As You Go, you put your little, yeah. Apparently this is more common in people without gallbladders, but I don't know how true that is. But yeah, anyway, so yeah, these little abdominal flare-ups are probably more to do with trapped gas than anything, because I don't usually have problems with it. So, but I did a thing. I found out a thing. I went to the doctor for whatever, probably shortly after my gallbladder. I was like, oh my God, I got a stomachache. And there's a regimen you can do. There's a thing you can do to like give your stomach a break from that shit. So that's what I'm doing now. You just take an acid reducer, just an over-the-counter acid reducer morning and night, at least one probiotic a day. And you can either have like either one of those little yogurt drinks, not the big ones, just a little yogurt drink, or like have a yogurt with every meal. Yogurt with every meal, probiotic once a day, also with a meal, acid reducer morning and night. Do that for a month. It doesn't fix anything, but when you don't have a gallbladder, you have your stomach. When you don't have a gallbladder, there's two types of stomach acid that get reduced. There's the stuff that's produced in your stomach, and then there's the stuff that's produced by your gallbladder. If you take an acid reducer morning and night, probiotic, and keep the Pepto handy, right? And then with every meal, have yogurt before, during, or immediately after every meal, and a probiotic at least once a day. Do that for a month, and you'll give your body a vacation from the not a gallbladder irritation. But anyway, just saying, that's what I'm doing right now. I also keep like simethicone. When I first, for the first few days or a week, if you're feeling like, oh my God, I have like mega heartburn and it's just not mega heartburn, mega trapped gas, it's just not going away, then simethicone, Oval, Gas X, that sort of stuff. Taking that twice a day, first thing in the morning and an hour before bed, works wonders too. I don't need it all the time. I don't need to do it all the time, but I call them not a gallbladder attacks. It's fucked up. They take your gallbladder out to prevent one problem, and gallstones are a fucking problem. Don't get me wrong. Like, I mean, if left untreated, you can die from that shit. But this is a first world country. Nobody dies from that here, but in third world countries, yeah, they die from that shit all the time. But I don't know. It's kind of funny. You don't want to sit there and do let's talk medical shit all day long. But I'm 60. What else have I got to fucking talk about? You guys need to do a better job of amusing and distracting me. No, it's fine. Aren't I a mouthy shit, eh? Welcome to my channel. Here's your job. Okay. I might as well backstitch a little bit. Okay. Yeah, I found that it's kind of funny. You can't shake a stick without finding somebody who's had their gallbladder out. It's hilarious. I'm not sure if it's hilarious in the good way or in the whatever way, but it's an incredibly common surgery. But because it's digestive issues, nobody ever wants to talk about it. I can sit there and go weird, but then again. Okay. Keep you company while I go back for some more. Isn't that cool? My camera's a lot. My camera's a lot. I'm a lot happier with my camera right now. We'll keep it like that. Let's see if I can get a better visual on it. Well, there's not much to show now. We just got the rest of the framing done. Let's get up here, away from the iron. I've just got the rest of the framing done. So the top and the bottom are now framed. I don't really have to iron it, but I should anyway. I'm just going to do it the lazy way. Apparently I'm not. I wonder. Nope, I'm going to do it the not so lazy way. Yeah, as long as you guys can hear me, everything's fine. If there's anything I'm missing in the conversation, I'll catch up when I come back over. Come on. It's getting bigger. It's going to be 6 inches. It's going to be 12 inches wider when it's done. It's got a 6-inch border to go on each side. Come on. There we go. That side's done. Okay, the good news is that's going to be done. I'll be getting an entire quilt top done during one live stream. Come on. Woot. There we go. Hey, that's okay. There we go. Let me see where we're at. Let me see. I don't know if I can get the can. Wait. Oh, welcome to the table. Which way is that going? Which way do I want to go? Now let's go that way. Yeah, look at that. Upside down. There we go. So this is the center. This is the center, all framed. There's going to be a 6-inch strip going down here, and that's the full width. That's going to be the full width. Now, let's see what we agreed on. 10-inch strips, I believe. Okay, this is kind of cool. Basically, I found that's the plug, right? And this is an adapter to let it plug into the UBC, because I've got UBC on this size. I'm going to use the same black. I'm going to use the exact same black, because then it's going to, oh, wait, we can go back over here to the table. I'm going to use the exact same black, because then it's good. Then everything, because this is dark. This is a dark pattern. This is all dark here. So if I frame it entirely in black, it's going to let everything that's all the dark pieces really pop. We think. I don't have a lot of pale stuff. Oh, okay, Sandra, see you later. Aw, thank you. Thanks for watching. Okay. So what time is it now? Okay, I'm pretty sure this is going to be done. An entire quilt top in just a couple hours. That's kind of awesome. Maybe I'll now for quilting, I'm using flannelette, because flannelette does not need to be quilted. You know, all the designs that people do, flannelette doesn't need that. So I am just going to be using flannelette, using that as my inside. I'm not doing that part today. Lisa has promised to be tribute for helping with that. So I mentioned that I buggered my shoulder. Not in any serious way. I'm fine. But it's a lot of running an entire quilt under the machine to quilt it. It can get very tiring. So Lisa has volunteered to help with that. And we are just going to go stitch in the ditch. We're going to use flannelette that does not need to be quilted, and then I could just do stitch in the ditch and everything's fine. I love the setup of my new table, by the way. Okay, it's not a new table. This is the exact same table. It's just a new setup. I can come over here and square off my fabric. Get over there. If you've ever had to cut a piece of fabric, and then you're like, don't want it to move, because you don't want it to move. Just watch this. I'm so happy that I can do this. Because you have to cut off the end. You always have to cut off the very end to get a nice, clean, straight line, or you're going to fuck something up later. So now all the wonky stuff is gone. Then I do this. This is awesome. Then I just come around to this side, get my measurement going. Oh shit, that's got to be okay. 8. Here we go. I need a 10-inch piece, which means I need to cut it at least, what? Oh, it's not a stupid question. It's actually a really smart question that not enough people ask. Trust me. Okay, so I've got 3 kinds of wadding right now. I use flannelette, which is a solid sheet. It will not, no matter how many times you wash or dry, the flannelette that I've got is the same stuff diapers are made of. You can wash it, you can dry it, and it will not tear itself apart in the washing process, right? I've also got this stuff. Same thing, it won't tear itself apart. This stuff, and it won't tear itself apart. I can use that, but this stuff, I've got a ton of it that's handy. Okay, so that's flannelette. it does not come apart in the wash. It holds its shape. It holds its shape. So you can use it as your filling and it's not going to fall apart. It's not going to clump. It's not going to tear itself. It's not going to move in a thing. This stuff on the other hand, this stuff on the other hand, okay. This stuff on the other hand, if you, I'm losing track of where the camera is because I'm stupid. Anyway, this stuff does that. This stuff, but see how loose the fiber in there is? I don't know if you can tell. Come on, camera, get a better look. Okay, the fiber in here is very, very loose because it's not woven. Fabrics are okay, you know, everybody knows weaving from school, right? Fabrics are made by weaving. This isn't, which means that if you do not hold it down with extra stitching, then it will and just unravel itself. It's like, yeah, it's just not held together the same way. This does not need the extra stitching because it's synthetic. It still tears apart really easily, but it's not going to move around the same way in the washer or dryer. So, but this stuff here, just by washing and drying it, it will eventually turn it to, that's like a piece of felt. It's a very similar, I think it's the identical process to making felt. So it just breaks down. It breaks down really easily. So if you don't sew it down, you're going to have a problem. Yeah. But no, it's not a stupid question because people get into projects all the time. And I've done it myself. I'm switching my ruler because I need an 11-inch piece and that ruler is not wide enough and I do not want to move this. Because right now this is a crisp, clean line that I just cut. Squaring off my fabric gave me a super crisp, super clean line. I want to find my. I'm gonna go an extra inch. I'm going an extra inch because I need seam allowance. I want it to be a minimum of 10. I want it to be at least 10 inches, but I also need a seam allowance. And since I tend to do my seam allowances wider than necessary, I'll go 11 inches and I'll be fine with that extra little bit. Trusting myself to go off the top and not fucking it up too badly, which is fine because I'm going to be cutting off this top right about there anyway to get rid of the selvage. Okay. And because of the way I folded everything, I've got two of them. I did two. 1, 2. I just got to do one more. So I take this one back out. Come on. This was me fucking up. What I should have done, once I cut that, I should have left this one flat to the table and then rolled that one out of the way because I only need one more. Little tiny shift happened up here. So I'm just going to line that up along the outside. Trim that out. But yeah, it's your stereotypical. Anyway, let me just finish this because I'm going to distract myself and cut the wrong width. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. There we go. And we take that piece off. All right. I only need 3 of these because I know that I'm going to have, I need one piece for the top, one piece for the bottom, but no, the pieces are not quite wide enough, but 40 plus 40 plus 40 is 120, and I only need a total of 100 inches. I believe it is. So let's just see. Anyway. Oh, I gotta iron them. The second. These ones are really nice and don't really need to be ironed, but I have to open up the seam. No, come here. Always hold your iron when you move the board. Just trust me on that. Trust me on that. So I'm staying away from the seam. Ironing that. Staying away from the seam, ironing that. This is a nice trick. This is a nice trick for getting things done a little faster. This is assuming that you already know, because I'm ironing it just for continuity reasons. It's not, I already know that there's no big creases on the bottom. It's just, I'm ironing it because I've ironed everything else. And you just go, and you just open it, drape it, because there's your center, and open the seam. If you're ironing fabric for a project, ironing when you apply heat, this area will shrink a little bit, right? So if you're ironing a piece of fabric for a project and you only iron exactly the area that needs to be ironed, then this will be out of sync with that. Especially if you use, it's not a major issue, but on big enough pieces, it can start to get noticeable. Okay. Whew, there we go. If anybody's had anything interesting to say, I've missed it because I'm over here. There's my, I'm gonna drape that there. It's okay to do that with your fabric. And I don't have to re-iron it as long as I don't press on it. I'm just kind of like letting it hang out. Oh yeah, you can absolutely use it as a wadding material. You know what you do is okay. You may want to wash it first. Well, okay, it depends on what kind of wadding it has in it, right? Like if you're just going to use the exact same piece and then just sew on a topping over top of it. Come on, what's going on? There we go. But yeah, no, it's totally okay. It's totally okay to do. Now, never feel dumb about asking a question. My God, the questions I have asked would astound you. Okay, so now I have to make sure that I'm not putting, I have to just make sure my upside, I showed this earlier, but that's going to be a band at the top and the bottom of the blanket. I just have to make sure now that everything's going to be facing the same way. Up has to be up. The reason why I took off the salvages is because I didn't need to leave them on. So we're going to go. If you just line it up here, you could end up having it whacked out over here. So just make sure the top lines up and then line up the sides. It'll be a lot easier and you're less likely to have something shift. But yeah, you can, what's going on there? Sorry, just a second. My mouse shifted and it's hovering. And if the button accidentally clicks, it's going to close this window. We don't want to do that. I want you guys to stick around for a while. Come on, get back up there. There we go. I wasn't close enough to the corner. Okay. Yeah. It's a cotton duvet cover. So it's going to depend on whether it's stuffed with this as sheeting. This has been done up in sheets, right? It's going to depend on whether it's done with this as sheeting or whether this has been torn up into chunks the way it would be for a pillow. You can still use it. You can still absolutely use it. There's no problem. There's no issues either way with using it. It's just a matter of how you should be handling it when you sew it. It's going to make a bit of a difference. But if you go look up online, turn an old duvet into a baby blanket or whatever. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what the project is, but there's a video out there for everything. Yeah, it's just for table runner object cloths, not blankets. So if you're just going to cut it, and then sew an edge into it, then yeah, just knock yourself out. Double check the washing instructions. Like I said, if it's in sheets like that, then you're fine. Just go, because that does not require additional quilting. They tend that because it's polyester, it doesn't tend to fall apart in the wash. If it's cotton batting, then just follow whatever's already there on the duvet. If they've got it sewn every I'm going to put one on, then the other. And I'm going to iron this right quick. Right back. Okay. Okay. So I'm just going to futz around. Oh, hey, that inset is bigger. I moved it to the other side. Somebody pointed out that that the left-hand side is just showing you my couch anyway. So getting it onto that side actually gives more. So I want this to be upside. I want this to be upright. So I'm just going to pre-line it all up from over here. If I really had a sense of self-preservation. Don't forget, folks, I hate knitting. I mean, I am really, really stupid when it comes to pinning things. If that does not work for you, then do not do what I do and take the time to pin everything. And also, don't forget, if you don't have a lot of confidence in your straight lines, if you don't have a lot of confidence in your straight lines, then pin everything so that nothing will move, right? And then come through here with a pencil, that'll wash off. Chalk, that'll wash off. A friction pen, that comes off with the iron. And just come through and mark exactly where you want your stone line to be. Just get a ruler. I want a 1/4 inch. I want a perfect 1/4 inch seam. So pin everything down and then just mark it and then follow the line. It's your project, and you are more than allowed to put it together any way that makes sense to you. So I'm going a bit at a time because I'm taking the bottom, I'm taking the top. You guys can't really see from your angle. I'm taking the bottom and I'm taking the top, and I'm kind of holding it here. And then I'm kind of like wiggle, jiggle, getting everything in place. Now that everything's in place, I'm holding it down. I'm holding it here and just walking it down. Then when I get close, I do the next section. I'll tell you though, have you ever seen, I pin everything in markup and it still comes out wonky? Yeah, so what? Honestly, so what? Do the results work for you? Okay, I'm being shitty. I'm not being shitty. I'm being like, as long as the results work for you, don't worry about it, because things will smooth out. Things will smooth out with more practice. They really will. And that's the only thing that matters. Some people, and you know, it's really tempting, okay? It is really tempting. You do your very first project for the very first time. It doesn't turn out the way that you wanted. And it's really, rage quitting is so fucking tempting. I have rage quit things, like we all have. So yeah, exactly. Okay, I'm not selling this. If I were selling, okay, like this is for Lisa. This is fine. I'm not selling this. If I were selling this, I would probably be a hell of a lot more careful. I'd be pinning things. I'd be double checking everything. Yeah, I rage quit sewing. This is why I started the ugly quilt. It's like I can work on something. End up with 6 pieces that I'm not quite happy with, finish it off as a patch for the ugly quilt, and then I'm not throwing anything away. But that's what I'm going to be doing. I've got a project I want to start on. I don't know when I'm going to get around to it, but I want to start. I got a project for what's called Tangled Stars, right? But I haven't really decided what I do or don't want. Oh, that's just. But yeah, I mean, I haven't decided what kind of color palettes I do and don't want, and I do need more It's this one. I've shown you guys this one more than once. I want to do a project. I want to do an entire blanket or lap blanket, probably a lap blanket, probably start small of this. I need a little bit more practice. It's coming out a little tiny bit wonky, which is fine. I don't give a shit because it's going to go into the any piece, as long as it doesn't have a big gaping hole in it, that's going to go into the ugly quilt. But I'm also not sure what color combinations I want to use. So when I'm ready to do it, I'm just going to do whatever sounds like fun. I had a spot up here that I may have done too wonky. Yeah, there it is. But it didn't shift. What the hell happened? Okay, well, whatever. We're just going to go here. I have a spot that was too close to the edge, so I got to get down a little bit further. Oh, that's the edge. That's why. See where we're at now. See where that one goes. Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah, look at this. Okay, I don't know if this is going to show up. See that one? I got this one here. This one here drifted a little too close to the edge, but it's only off by less than 1/4 of an inch. So when I put the second line in, it just grabs it. It's fine. Fixed it. Oh, that's why. Okay, that's why this flipped backwards. It's not the end of the world though, so I don't care. Okay, now I have to trim this one off. See, I've got more. Okay, I've got more than half a piece left. So I have to trim this. I have to trim this excess off. Yeah, I like that color combo too. But I want it. Okay, basically, what I want is I want the design in more than one color combo. So instead of like doing, come on, you go here. No, I am not going to agonize too much here. I'm going to come out. I'm going to get it. Okay, if I just trim this, I'm going to end up with a fucked up thing here. So I'm going to start a little further out, figure out where straight up and down is here, which is here, and do that because I can already tell that everything's off center. And when I go like that, see, then when I go like that, it actually lines up like that. But okay, that goes back over there for a minute because now I have to get out that second piece that I did. Get out the second piece that I did, get over here and make sure that both sides are upside right. It can be a thing. It can absolutely be a thing that I double and triple check. It can absolutely end up being a thing that you're like this, right? And then suddenly you just something distracts your attention for a minute and it's upside down. And especially since to sew this one, I need to do it this way. Okay. Actually, let's double check that. I'm not ironing that. I've got extra of this, and that might end up being I'm probably going to make Lisa a pillowcase. Okay, that's going in the right direction. I'm just going to leave that for a minute. Let me get the other one on and we can show it. Oh, itchy nose. Okay. Oh, you know what I have to do, guys? I have to stop. I have to stop here. I think this is turning in. This is a little. We did the math for measuring it, but I think it's going to end up being a little longer. Oh no, wait, 3, 3, and 6. I may have to stop here and wait for Lisa to get home because all I've got left after this is a black border. So I want the bottom to be that direction, which means I'm going to be doing it this way. And yes, I double checked against everything. I lay it out You guys can't really see, but I lay it out so that it's going to be the correct direction and then lay it backwards. I have ended up fucking that one little step up so many times through a single moment of distraction that I just do it that way now for everything. Okay. Okay, where are we at? Doop. Doop. Okay, that's there, that's there. Yep, that's right. Let's go a little tiny bit. I'm going to go a little tiny bit out. That way if something's shifted and that piece isn't as straight as I'd like it to be, I don't have to worry. Yeah. Okay. Get the first little bit going. Do, do, do. Sometimes I'll stop after as little as 2 stitches to do this step. You just got to make sure that it's lining up. Yeah, I can just barely see the black through here, so I know it's lined up properly. You ever see those videos though? Or take you? I mean, I might be done. I might be done. I have a black border to put all the way around, which is fine, but I'm looking at the size. And I'll need to wait. Okay, I'm going to be putting a 3-inch border top and bottom, and then 6 inches on each side. But I'm just looking at its size now because it's supposed to be a couch throw. I'm looking at its size now and wondering if I think we may need to make a size adjustment. So I should probably let Lisa come home. Adding a border of black all the way around is going to be quick. So I'm just going to wait. I think I'm going to be done with this one for now. Which means I can start on the other one. Yeah. I'm getting kind of excited. Anyway, let me see what I got. Let me see. Okay. Yeah, that's right. Oh my God, I had a moment. It's like I double and triple check to make sure this is all pointing in the right direction, and I still end up having a moment going, did I just fuck that up? Okay. Okay, I cannot see the black all of a sudden. There it is. Okay, let's get this back over here. We're going to go over here. I'm just going to trim this off right quick. This is definitely wide at this end, but it's what I need. Let's get that out of your way. Okay. Okay. No. We'll get a good look in a second. Oh, I think the camera's even fuzzed out. I'm sorry, guys. I have to iron it or it's not going to lay flat enough for anybody to get a good look. That goes that way. Why is that all sticking that way? It did the thing. We'll do that. Just use the edge of your iron board. Whatever works. Why is this going in the wrong direction? I know I held it down long enough. one's done. Okay, now the other one. Come on. Do. That's the problem. I'm trying to do it fast. You know the rule. As soon as you try and do something quickly, it's not gonna go where you want it to go. Okay. I wonder if the iron was just in the process of turning it off, because that seam didn't want to take. It's going fine now. La 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 la. La 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 la. La la la. Oh, this looks nice. Okay. Let's see what we got going on here. Is it still fuzzy? It is still. You stupid camera. There we go. Okay. Let's see what we got here. Let's get this out of the way. I'm trying to get my. That's the problem. Is the table's in the way. I guess it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. There's what we've got. No, I don't like that. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna bring this over here. I gotta get used to the idea that I've got more. Where's that showing? Right to there. All right, we're gonna go over here. Hi, Sheila. Found a better way to hook up my camera. Whoop. There. Here we go. Here is the grand unveiling. Come on. Man. Okay, that's it. That's what I got. So what I've got going on right now. Yeah, so that is what it looks like. This is the little mushroom village. Lisa just fell in love with the butterflies on the panel. And then down each side, we have dragonfly, unicorn. I can't tell if I'm in a mushroom house. Down this side, we've got that, a magical tree. What the fuck? Whew. It's upside down. This panel is upside down. So I'm going to be busy for a while. Look at that. I knew it. I double, triple checked, still did it. Let me just double check. Yep, that one's upside down. So I'm going to have to take that panel out and flip it. How did I manage that? It's gorgeous, though. So I've got the tree, that, and then another house at the top. This is upside down to that. Okay. Okay, my worst case scenario is I go back to the store and get another panel. So we're good. I don't have to panic. I don't have to panel panic. Yeah, the magical tree is awesome, and it's upside down. Oh, fuck. Fuck-a-doodle-doo. Okay. Man, you know, I wish there was some way for me to pretend I did this on purpose, that I would just sound like awesome sauce. I've got it completely sewn in. Where is my seam ripper? Where the hell is my seam ripper? There's my seam ripper. So I'm going to be busy for a while. Do I fix it? Well, I have to fix it. I cannot believe that. Look. I didn't even notice till I was looking at it from behind. Tiska, tiska, tiska. So this is what I'm going to be doing for the next hour. Okay, I've got another project to work on. I've got another project to work on, which is going to be really nice, and it's going to be a periwinkle. Yeah, this will be easy enough to fix. This is going to be easy enough to fix once I get it started. Yeah, I didn't want you to leave yet. Yep. Okay, using picture fabric. Yeah, this is a risk. This is a real risk. There's not much you can do. I have no idea how I managed it. I really don't, because I double checked. I double checked and I triple checked and I still put it on upside down. Basically, it's like you line it all up and then you sew the left side instead of the right side, and boom, it's not where you want it. But I don't know how I managed it, but I'm looking at the way it's in there right now. Now, if I get lucky, switch over to the big one. I will say that using panels is a lot of fun. As long as you are not, as long as the idea of taking out stitches doesn't scare the living shit out of you, which no judgment if it does. Now, my big problem is it's always been difficult for me to see black on black because I'm old now. My eyes don't like me anymore. So once I get enough started, always put the dot in first. Always put the little dot. See the little dot? Always put the little dot in first, because the little dot is way less likely to go flying through your fabric. I know I should be doing it from this side, but I think I'm going to have better control for the way I do things. Hey, Carrie Quilt, how you doing? I just fucked up a quilt, so I'm just trying to fix it now. Oh, there you go. Now it's going. I managed to put a panel in upside down, so I'm not having the best day, but how are you doing? That's exactly it. I'm going to blame Trish. Trish is the scapegoat of the day. No gaslighty bullshit from me, right? No, I got distracted, and I mean, I got distracted. I didn't think I would, obviously. If I thought distraction was going to be that kind of a problem, I would have worked on something else today for the camera. I don't mind, though. I mean, mistakes are going to happen. One of my bigger complaints about the bigger quilting channels is that they never show you the mistakes. And when they do, it's like, oh, this is not a difficult problem to solve. This is going to be a pain in the ass to pick all the stitches out. Yeah. I don't know. I'm just lazy. It's going okay. I'm going to have to iron that anyway. It's finger pressing beautifully, though. You are giving me smart advice, Linda. I'm just not being smart about it. So oh, there we go. Look, it's popping on its own now. But no, like I love watching the bigger sewing channels for ideas. Don't get me wrong, I love that, but I wish they would do more to show you how to fix it when a problem happens, because that's the most intimidating part of sewing. Oh, I'm also ripping. I didn't like the yeah. I will sit on it for a week deciding what layout that I want to do, because I am really bad for that. I think part of my problem right now is that if I don't iron it open, it's going to be easy to just throw it back in place. Okay, now this is okay. Let's pop the other end first. Oh no, this will be fine. I've got it. This will be fine because the stitching is visible. I'm always a little intimidated. I don't know what it is. It's a vision thing on my end, but the black on black is very difficult for me to see. I don't know if it's everybody's problem, but it's definitely a very distinct problem that I have. Come on, get up there. So far, it's not too bad, though. There we go. Get in there. I also am not, I'm not, okay, you know how you see those movies, they go, and it's gone? I am not that confident. I am not. Okay, I am super confident for that. If it's fabric, I don't give a shit about. Yeah, this is going fine. This is going fine. It'll be okay. It will be fine. Oh, okay. Well, as long as I'm not the only one, because black thread on black fabric, especially if the other fabric is also really, because it usually is, because you want it to match, can be like nearly impossible to see. I've got a good sense of touch though, so I get lucky. Come on. I just try to get that little red ball down there at the bottom. Oh shit. Yep. Been there, done that. Oh, I'm going to save this for this project. And it's like, oh, wait, I just made a bunch of reading cloths. Shit. I either have to pull this stuff back out of the shop or do something. That's what the ugly quilt is for, though. I got an ugly quilt project on the go that I can not have to worry about. You're new. I bet you haven't. I can't count. I have 8 blocks. Start an ugly quilt. I am making an ugly quilt, and it is going to be the most fun. It's been amazingly fun. Fun, low effort, low everything. It's a great way to park. It's a great way to park blocks and shit that I don't like, that don't work out, that don't do whatever. And then when it's done, it gets to be a quilt that I don't have to care about, because the quality will be there. I'm not going to make a crappy quilt, but I don't have to care about. Okay, I gotta open. Okay, here. You guys are quilt. You and Linda are quilt. Hi, honey. Yeah, you should feel bad. You're a horrible person. We're gonna blame Lisa. Okay, dumb question. I have to take out all of this corner, right? I have to take out that and that. I'm just trying to remember whether I actually have to. I gotta get to there. Oh, yes, I do. Never mind. I answered my own question. I'm making it for Lisa. This is Lisa's quilt. This is the quilt for my wife, so I can blame her if something's wrong. I love being able to pass the buck. At least that's good news for Trisha, because she was going to be, we were going to gaslight this shit all over her and make it her fault. But no, I'm not a problematic person. What are you guys talking about? I guess I can laugh. I know that kind of bullshit is real, and some people have not necessarily great family relationships because of it, but I would never do that to somebody. Not for real. I fuck around with that shit just because I'm an asshole, but yeah, it's upside down. I put it in upside. Okay, the good news is that it's not pieced. It's not pieced. It's a single solid panel, but I've got to peel the whole thing out and then flip it and then put it back in. Oh, really? Oh, wait, I think I've seen those. Don't you just, okay. I'm gonna, isn't that the thing where you just lay it like this and you go over it like this and it just snip, 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 snip? Isn't that what I think I've seen that. So they work. I should get one. Because I don't usually have a lot of issues. I don't know. Maybe I do. And I'm just used to them. But when something like this happens, it can be really frustrating. It's frustrating for anybody, right? When something like this happens, it is not fun. Good news is that the good news is the bottom mushroom panel. What? The bottom mushroom panel is not upside down? Are you fucking kidding me? Let me just double check all this shit. Can't be. Pull your seams apart and run it down the seam. No, I double checked everything except for that one. This one's upside right. If the bottom is, oh my God, the bottom could be upside down if I compared it against that panel. Just a second. No, the bottom is fine. Now you're a jerk. I'm blaming Lisa now. I'm fully blaming the spouse. No, I'm not. It's fine. It's fine. Now I'm at. Okay, we're going. It's moving. Now the bottom is fine, but for good or for bad, I'm glad you mentioned it because it's entirely possible. I always double check my up versus down before I get started. But if I was comparing it against a piece that was already upside down, pull your seams apart and run it down the seam. Zippy Ripper 2. I got to go look that up. Oh, you will fit in. You will fit right in, Carrie. Which end was I at? I was at one end. I don't know which end I was at. I thought I was popping this one out. Yes, I was. Okay. Basically, what I do, my wife is not sure. So let's get this actually laid out on the table and double check. I would rather double check, but if I'm right, I get to be shitty to my wife I'm shitty to her anyway, so I guess that's nothing special. Just saying, hon. Okay. Okay, that's the top. Okay, this is the top. That's in the correct direction. This is the bottom. This is the bottom, and it's in the right direction. That's the bottom. That's top of the house. That's the bottom of the house. This is the bottom. The dark is the bottom, hun. The dark is the bottom. Are you thinking that the dark was the top? So that's this panel. And then this one goes that way. So that one's correct. Yeah, I know you will. Don't worry. I know you'll help. We are moving into the black on black portion of my seam ripping. So if I'm having too many issues seeing this properly, I may actually set this aside and let Lisa finish it. Linda made me feel better though, because she pointed out that it's pretty much a common problem for anybody who sews. This isn't as hard as it looks like. The only issue here is that obviously you don't want to be in a position where you end up cutting the panel. It's Friday night. If I end up cutting the panel, if I end up cutting the panel, the Zippy Ripper 2. Let me just see. What the hell? See, I did it again. I touched something. Oh. Zippy Ripper 2. Okay, where are we going? Add to stage. There it is. The perfect power ripper just rips seams quickly. There's a video. It looks like a shaver. So you get rid of that one. That's rotary cutters. That's not the Zippy Ripper. It said to check it out, and then it didn't give me the thing. Oh, I have a really bad habit of, what am I doing here? Is it that one? I have a really bad habit of doing wide seams, so I just plan for it and get on with my life. Um, I don't know how that's going to work when I'm work. Well, okay, there's other. I'm self-taught for quilting, so there's other stuff that I want to get better at. But I've done bunches of quilt. Come on, I had the right hand angle a minute ago. I'm gonna have to think. You know what? It's a business write-off. We might actually have one if that's the case. Probably. Oh, people use those for cleaning out their dogs' toe pads. We may actually have something that's nearly identical. We just bought this a couple of days ago and should have no problem. If I fuck this up, we should have no problem. Oh, this is six. Moving. I should have no problem just, well, Lisa's here right now. So if I fuck this up, as long as I don't wreck even if I wreck the black, if I fuck this up, we can just go to the store and get some more. And Lisa could probably even go grab another panel on the way home. I cannot believe I did that though. Like, I mean, and I was just talking, and Trish was just asking questions about that. And it's like, oh shit, look what I did. Of course, considering the timing of everything, it's been sitting in this quilt for a bit already, but still. Now I think I'm having a bigger problem with the weight trying to drag itself off the table. There's nothing to be sorry about, honey. Shit happens. I've got so much black. I have got basically during COVID, it was really hard to buy black fabric. It really was. It was everybody was using black for masks and stuff, and it was super hard to find. And we know how long all that shit lasts. Nah, it's okay. It's just a bit whatever. So we know how that went. So I was stockpiling black. I've got almost 2 bolts of this. And anybody who's seen the shop knows that I back a lot of stuff. I go through a lot of black. So I had a stockpile of black. Then I had to shut the shop down because of the shipping stuff. I got plenty of black. So I don't need to worry about that. And now that I'm doing a video on it, the fabric is a write-off anyway. I can write it off. If I had more confidence to just go and not yeah, there you go. You're quite welcome, Trisha. See? This was all for Trisha's benefit. And now that Lisa is the one who said sorry, we get to blame it on her anyway. Win-win for everybody. It's fine, honey. Okay. Anyway, I know I mean, people with confidence just grab it, go, and it's done. And I'm just not. I'm not that confident about being able to tear out seams without cutting into one fabric or the other, which is why I go so slow. But I want to try that zippy ripper, and I want to see if we have that. Yeah. See, I don't know why. I've always done wider seams. I've always done the wider seams. I think it just fits with my machines too. I don't know. But anyway, I've always done the wider seams, which is definitely nice. That's a good tip for Trisha, though, because you were just asking about it, right? So while you're getting the hang of it, make sure you're doing a wider seam. Make sure that you're measuring your stuff. Give yourself extra room to do wider seams. And then if something has to change, you don't have the same problem that if I was working with a 1/4 inch seam, I'd have a much different problem to work with. But I can fuck this up differently. Because all this manhandling causes the seams to fray out a bit. So I've been really lucky because I don't very often have to stop and tear things out. And I've also been, if I'm working on a relatively small project, even if it's for the shop, if I'm working on a relatively small project for the shop and I have this kind of a problem, the time I'm wasting tearing all this stuff out is time I could make another thing. So it's like, it's not, and I may or I may not come back and usually I would just cut and remake it into a smaller size of whatever, because everything I do comes in multiple sizes, right? So I have other ways to avoid it. Come on, come on. So we'll see. We're gonna see what fixing this shit looks like. I have another quilt top that I want to make. It's gonna be smaller. It's gonna be total smaller. Probably no. Oh, and I'm stopping this. I was already gonna say this is my stopping point anyway, Lisa, because it's actually turned out a little bit. The sizing is a little bit different than we thought it was going to be. Looking at numbers on a piece of paper and actually experiencing what the size of something is are two different things. I don't think you're going to want to make any changes, but I just want to double check with you before I put the rest of the border on. Okay, I'm almost done, and this is that last mile thing. It's like I'm almost done, and as long as I don't punch a hole, in this panel or this, then I just flip it, finish it, and I'm done. Once you get to the last little bit, it gets a lot easier. Oh, Bruno, I see you. You have to wait, buddy. I'm still working. No, you have to wait. I'm sewing this back down before I go anywhere. I'm not turning off this camera until this is sewn. No. This is the problem that we have with Bruno. He knows I'm not going to beat the crap out of him. Yeah. Well, that's what I've got going on. I've got no. I have an AccuQuilt. So when you cut those pieces, okay, that way it becomes that way. Let's get this over here. I'm going to go placate Bruno with a snack right quick. Yeah, you're fine, buddy. I'll be right back. Come on, let's go. Oh, you don't get to climb on that. Come on, let's go over here. Yeah, good boy. Now you stay here. It's time to work. Okay. Okay, I'm back. Now, the last thing I want to do is put this in backwards all over again. Where's my glove? I took my glove off so I could handle dog treats. Now I wash my hands. And then I had a pee, if you must know. That's okay. Okay. I'm not going to sew anything. Okay, that is that way. That way. Okay. Now, what is the... I think I'm going to put the long piece in first and then do the other two. I think that might give me the more solid thing. Is there anything? Hi, Moira. Is there? Yeah, the size is not going to be an issue. Now the question is, because I'm self-taught, so there's things that I don't encounter very often or know much about. Is there any particular reason? Is there anything okay, so I'm going to do this, then I'm going to do this and this. Is there any reason why I can't do that? Or can't or shouldn't do that? I don't see an issue with it, but if there's some like, oh, if you do that, this will happen, then I kind of want to know. Okay, that goes there. Because then that over there. That. Yeah. It's got to go like that. I can come back and fix all that later. So is that, we're fixing a fuck up. We're fixing a fuck up, Moira. I put a long panel in, this big, and I put it in upside down. And otherwise, it is for a really nice quilt that I am making Lisa. I don't think there's anything really obvious that I need to know at this particular point. Unless I do, yeah, I've already got it lined up. Oh, that beeping was just my iron turning itself off. Okay. So I fucked up. I flipped it over. I have to make sure I can, okay, I don't mind going, starting in the middle, then do the ends. Yeah. Okay, that's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to, that's the, there we go. Okay, everything else should be, I'm fairly confident that I've got it right. I'm fairly confident that I'm doing it. Yeah, I just spent the last one. Actually, it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. More time than I wanted to spend on it, but it didn't take me too long to get the seams ripped out. So I'm okay. By the way, I didn't agonize about getting all the loose threads off because this is a quilt that we are keeping for us. So I will just make sure that that's done before I wash it. Most of it will come off, and I vacuum in here all the time and stuff, so I'll be able to get it all. La la la, la la la. This is fun. Fixing fuck ups is just the funnest part of my day. Yep. Let's stop right here. Yeah, it's upside right. It has been successfully turned into the correct direction. Yeah, I'm going to have some fraying and shit to deal with, but I would be cleaning all of that up first and ironing it flat and doing all sorts of stuff to make sure. I've never sold a quilt actually. I don't know if I would. Okay, I might actually. Okay, you guys. Okay, you guys are in for a rare treat. I might actually even pin this to make sure things don't shift when I'm going around. Because now I've got to sew the other. So now I've got to sew these parts in too. Okay, that's going to go there. Okay, that's done. Okay. Now, if I can figure out how to do this without pinning, we all know what I'm going to opt for. Yeah, no, I know I'll never get the price. I will never get the price. But it might. Okay, now I will say though, yeah, 0 per hour. Now I will say though, it turns out, and I'm not sure where you would go to find groups that do this. It turns out that there is a market for you do the flimsy, this part, and then somebody else will buy it and then do the quilting. Because there is a market for people who do their own quilting. Okay, so now this, I gotta lay this out flat. I gotta take a look at what I'm doing. or I'm going to fuck it up because I've got to get around that corner. Let's do it this way. Let's put this guy over. Okay. I've got to get around the corner. I think I have to pin it, guys. Wait. If I start here and go to there, I may not have to pin it. I don't have to pin it. God, I'm lazy. I am so lazy about pinning. I hate pinning. Can't stand doing it. Okay. I'm going to do the thing. I got it. I will tell you right now. Okay, I've got it in both hands. Yeah, I've got it in both hands. I'm sitting on it. I gotta get it over here. Yeah, there are people who will buy the tops, but sometimes there's an entire market for people, not market, but there's an entire income stream for people who are not. That doesn't go all the way to the end. Oh, no, it's not going to because I made the bottom of this piece a little bit bigger. Okay, so we are going to go like that. Okay, I'm going to lose a tiny bit there, but that's fine. Okay, so I backed up onto the other section where there was already a sew line. That's not going to be perfect because that matched from the top. Yeah, that's the black. That was cut extra wide. This isn't going to match up because this was made extra wide. Anyway, there is a market for people who sew because it's what they enjoy doing. So they're not trying to get anything other than a few bucks to put towards their next batch of fabric. And there are people that sell tons. That's fine. Okay, that's there. There are people who sell tons of stuff like that. But yeah, but I'm not sure how you advertise it. Because if you're gonna sell it, if you're gonna go on like Etsy and sell just the flimsy, then if somebody comes along and goes, I thought that was the whole quilt, they can make your day hard, right? But yeah, there's a market for it. There is a market for people who enjoy quilting. I think what they do is I think they buy the flimsy, finish the quilt, and then they sell it because they have a market for it. Okay, I'm gonna throw a back stitch in here just to make sure nothing's gonna undo. I overstitched on that end. That part's fixed. Okay, I'm gonna put it back on the table. I'm gonna do the exact same process because I don't want to fuck it up. Yeah, and this is extra. This piece here is also extra wide. Okay, that goes there. That goes there. Okay. That goes there. Now this is going into the machine in the opposite direction just because of the way I hold things. Let's see, there. I am so happy. I am so happy. Had a person that said the color was not what I showed and I had a hard time with her. I will tell you right now, number one, Etsy is better all the way around if you can drive your own traffic. My traffic comes almost exclusively from the tarot community, where I already have a good personal reputation. So if somebody has a problem, if somebody has a question or a problem, they'll reach out to me. I don't know how to describe it. It's like any retail environment. There's always some asswipe just sitting there waiting to make your day miserable because they're going to try and bully you into something that they want. And it's just the reality of it. And it really, really sucks. But if you drive your own traffic, then people feel a little bit more personally responsible and are, because I've had people, they said, oh, that's not the red, that's not the shade of red I was hoping for. And then we talk about it, and then I send them another one, or I do a thing, or I whatever, right? We figure it out. Whereas I've seen people come in with complaints going, I just sold somebody a thing, and they're freaking out, demanding this and doing that, and everything changes. Okay, let's see, a little bit of more caffeine, that'll help. No, it won't, but anyway. Okay, moment of truth. I fucked it up. If it is still upside down, the thud you are going to hear is me pounding my head against the wall over there. I just scared the hell out of myself for a second there. Okay. There it is. Whew. Okay. There we are. I figured out where I might have made my mistake. I think I will actually accept personal responsibility for a change. But the tree, it would be my own fault for not paying attention. But the tree at a glance doesn't look, at a glance, the tree doesn't look too bad this way at a glance. Okay. At a glance, there's the roots, there's the tree, but at a glance, there's the roots, there's the tree. I think I just didn't pay attention to the whole panel. And I think that's where my fuck up came from. But my fuck up turned out to be a huge advantage. So there we go. There's the whole thing. It's done. It's fixed. So what I'm going to do is iron. Oh, I'm going to iron this right now, actually. Okay, I'm wondering what my dogs have done. I'm wondering if it's my dogs or me, because I've got twice now. I'm finding this on the floor. I must have dragged it onto the floor. Okay, where is it? Where is it? I'm just going to stick that panel off the edge. Oh. This has got a safety in it, so. So I'm just opening up that crease and putting in these creases. Okay, which way is that going? Ah, that is going that way. There we go. I'm gonna turn it off for now. There. Okay, so I made an entire quilt, fucked it up, and then fixed it. Let's get this back over here again. Peggy is live, yes. Yes. Oh, the computer screen thing. Well, I'll tell you right now. People live. There's Etsy is. I love Etsy. I really do. But Etsy is better if you can do your own. If you can attract your own traffic. People that are like, for me, it's people that are coming through Lisa's channel or whatever. There we go. So all we need is the black as a banner around the whole thing. There's going to be a black banner around the whole thing and then it's done. But I have to wait for Lisa to come home and see it for herself. I have to wait for Lisa to come home and see it for herself because it's actually probably a little bit bigger than, it's a little bit bigger than, like I said, it's bigger than a little bit of, it's bigger than, is it going to, I'm not going to get a good view going without a ton of, I'm not going to get a good view going without a ton of seasickness here. So let's do it this way. So we've got Mushroom Village, center panel, which I can't tell if the whole thing, so it's butterflies over a river scene, side panel, firefly, a dragonfly, unicorn, and a mushroom house. Other side panel, mushroom house. Look at this. This is two fairies in the moonlight. I don't even know if it's moonlight or plant glow. And then Le Tree. And then the bottom is the rest of the mushroom village. So that is what we've done. That is what I have done today. But there's no but. There's no but. I'm very happy with everything exactly the way it is. And we will, yeah, this is the one that I just fixed. So we'll double check for fraying and extra loose threads and stuff as we're doing it. So there, I'm done. Oh yeah. You can say that for Etsy. For Etsy, you can put basically in Etsy, you put down your monitor resolution may your monitor resolution may whatever. Etsy will take your side in a dispute as long as it's not like, okay, we had one guy, right? He had a purple thing or a blue. Okay, he had a blue thing that he was selling, and he advertised it as blue, but the customer got it. It was distinctly purple. And then he said, well, yeah, but the coloring looked better when it was showing up. Because we were saying, well, there's a very distinct color difference. So what's going on? He goes, no, it's the exact same thing. But when I took the photos look better in blue, so I left them. It's like, oh, you can't do that, right? But if it's just the resolutions, basically the biggest thing with Etsy is about your first 100 sales, people try to fuck with you. Because people see that you're new and they're like, oh, well, I'm gonna complain and get her to give me free stuff. I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. They're, I'm being magnanimous and giving you a chance. Therefore, you need to be kissing my ass exactly right. And that's how it ends up going, right? But yeah, that is so Lisa. All she's gotta do is decide. Our original plan was to add 3 inches black top and bottom and then 6 inches down the side. But I think that's exactly what we're going to end up doing. But it's a little bigger than I thought it was going to be, if that makes sense. Like I said, seeing 63 inches, I think, is my width. No, 14 and 14 is 28. 28 plus 23 is 51. 51 inches. Seeing that in writing and then seeing that in person are two different things. So I think I just want her to have a chance. All I've got left to do is I'm going to put 3 inches on the top, 3 inches on the bottom, and then I'm going to run a 6 inch all the way up the side. Because if I'm running it all the way up the side, then I can take these edges, straighten them up, and then just be done. So once she has a chance to double check, if I wasn't fucking around with that, I would have definitely had time to add the 3 inches. So we're good. Anyway, no, Etsy is easy, but it's also a process. And it's usually your first 100 sales can be. Scammers are all over newbies. The minute, oh, like you've got less than 100 sales, you must be new, and then they want to fuck with you. And it's ridiculous, and it drives me fucking nuts because, yeah, I run an Etsy group with almost 10,000 people in it, and half the time people get scammed and then come to the group, and it's like, oh, this happened, and it's like, I really wish you to come to the group first. But no, people will argue. Once you get more sales, once you get more sales, you become a little bit more untouchable by people that are willing to complain over stupid shit. And I don't mean stupid shit. I don't know how to describe this. I have people that buy bags. I have people that buy bags to match a very specific. Oh, I bought this bag for this deck and it's not quite matching. What can we do? What can you do to help me? What can we do to fix it? Whatever. And so then we work through it. I get exactly what that means. And sometimes, oh, I thought that my computer monitor's off, and I thought, yeah, whatever. It's like I don't get a lot of that. I don't get hardly any of that because there's people will reach out in advance. It's like, hey, can you send me a couple of extra pictures? I'm not quite sure on the tone from your listing. Oh, okay. But yeah, I really do like Etsy though. I like Etsy. It's been I like Etsy. It's been very good to me. But unfortunately, if you rely on Etsy for 100% of your traffic, you're going to encounter problematic people. I guess I can't say going to, but the odds of it go way up. The odds of it go way up. I'm encountering people through a community, and because tarot is a community, people will reach out first. People will reach out and ask me questions before they even buy the bag. Hey, can you put this on hold while I sort this out, because I want to match this bag, blah 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 blah, right? Because it's a community, they feel more comfortable. Because it's a community, they feel more comfortable reaching out. That's probably the thing to say. That's probably the part that matters. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know how you get around that, because not everything can translate. But anyway, back to what I was saying. There is a market for people who just want the flimsy, because they want to do the quilting, and they don't want to do the other part. So, but as to how much you can make doing it, I don't know. You're definitely valuing your work time at zero. But I've talked to a few people who make shit tons of flimsies all the time, and they're mostly doing it for a hobby. It's like, oh, I turn all of my scrap into flimsies. I make a quilt for myself, turn the leftovers into a flimsy, and generally speaking, sell it for enough to more or less pay for the fabric I need for my next personal project. So do a personal project, turn your scrap into a flimsy to sell. But baby quilts are a thing too. But what they really want for baby quilts, a generic baby quilt, and then they want embroidery, the baby's name, date of birth, weight, all that stuff. That's a huge business. But a lot of people just buy cheap pre-made quilts from wherever and do that with it. But anyway, I'm not going to start my next project. I'll tell you what the next, I'm doing two of these kind of not at once, but I'm doing two of these, not two of these, that and that. That is awesome. That is gorgeous. This is the next project. Ugh. This is the next project. This is Lisa reassures me that this is periwinkle, a purpley blue. Yeah, it looks, I don't know why. In some lights it looks more purple, in some lights it looks more blue, but I guess that's what periwinkle is. I don't know. So I'm going to take one of these. I've got borders. I bought a bunch of this. Oh, a flimsy. Okay, this is what I'm hearing it called. Is the flimsy is just the top. So that guy there, that would be the flimsy. It's just the top, and it hasn't been added to anything yet. So that's what I keep hearing. I don't know if it's actually the proper term. If it's not the proper term, please, by all means, anybody who knows better, correct me on what the right term is. So we are doing this fabric. I am doing this fabric. I'm doing this fabric, and I'm going to keep this really simple. I ended up with an amazing deal and got a lot of this one. Oh, okay, that's right. Yeah, the batting in the back isn't in there yet. It is just the top waiting to be put together into a quilt. And people like that. People like to buy those, add their own batting and backing, and then because they like doing this themselves. So this is just the flowers. This is got the flowers. Oops. get my hands where it can be. So this has got the flowers all over the place through here, right? Yeah, I have no idea how common. I know that there's a market for it, for people that will buy these, finish the quilts, but you're still not going to get paid what it's worth. You're still not going to get paid what your time is worth, but you will, for the most part, from the sounds of it, get paid for what the materials are worth, which lets you buy materials for your next. So, buy enough for personal project, and then the leftovers, sell it. Anyway, so this is going to be really simple. This is going to be the back as well as on the top. Yeah. This is nice. Okay, so this is going to be really simple. So I'm going to take, I got to double check my width. Yeah. Okay. So this is 10 inches. This, from that line to this line, is 10 inches. So I'm probably going to go a little under, whatever. Okay. So I'm going to take whatever makes sense here, right? I'm going to take that and this, and I'm going to take this and make 20 by 20. So it's going to have this and then that. I'm going to make 20 by 20 inch pieces because this is going to be a really quick quilt. So 20-inch pieces, and then I might put them into a pattern of some kind. I probably won't. And then back them on this one, back them on this purple. So it's going to have the purple all the way around, and then these on the front. There's a couple of ways I could put them together on the front, and I haven't decided yet, because if I'm going to do 20-inch by 20-inch pieces, if I'm going to do, so I do 10 inch by 10-inch piece of this, a 10-inch by 20-inch piece of this, and then a 10-inch by 20-inch piece of this. I've got 20 by 20. Yeah, I was hoping to make it today, and then I fucked up that panel. I was hoping to at least get started. So this is, yeah, so I'm going to do, basically, I'm going to, I'll probably work on this one on Monday now. So this one's, I haven't decided on, that's not a pen. That is not a pen. Jeez Louise. Okay, so this is going to be, so this is a border. So this guy is a border, right? I've got a couple of ideas. There's a couple of things that I know how to do that I might do, and I haven't decided yet. But the simplest thing that I can do with this is just go, okay, you know how I showed you guys the crow, right? I showed you guys my crow quilt. Exact same idea. So this is just going to be, that's going to be the one, and that's going to be the other. And then I just do sideways, just do it sideways. Do it this way with the other stuff on the bottom, and then just do 9 of them. Do that. So if I do that, if I do it in the same style as my crow quilt, then I can have a 60. I just do 9. I do 9 of these with 20 by I do 9 of these 20 by 20, and I just do that. If I decide to do a full flimsy, a full top, then I might put the border all the way around the outside, and then the other stuff in the middle, and then back it. I haven't fully decided on what I want to do yet, and I can, but because I'm going to be working it in large pieces, I can do it on the fly. So there's also a couple of other things. I've got so much extra. I've got so much of that. I've got so much of this. I've got so much of this border. I've got way more. I got way more than I need. Every time I make something with it, it disappears in the shop like the same fucking day. So I got a bunch of this. Here's the story. I got a bunch of this. I was putting it in the shop, everything's fine. There is a wholesaler that I used to buy from occasionally, and he was having a massive sale. So I would put something in the shop with this on the front, and then that other one, and then this one as the backing, and it would just go. So he had a massive sale, like a huge sale. Basically, he had a great some store he was supplying canceled their order, and it was a huge order, and he had a warehouse full of fabric. It was awesome. So I got an amazing deal, and because the deal was super amazing, I bought a bunch of it. And then Rose had her surgery and quit. And I never got around finishing it. I never got back to using it more than once or twice. Anyway, I've got so much of this that I can do a bunch of stuff with it. And I don't know exactly what I'm going to end up doing. But yeah. So anyway, I am debating after January, once all the tariff shit is sorted out, I am debating on taking a little section of my shop and turning it into like a bit of a fabric store. I got some stuff at such great prices and great deals that I can like I've got this, unless I get another helper, I'm not necessarily going to go through it. I'm not necessarily going to have a chance to go through it. So if I offer it in the shop for like $7 or $8 a yard, which is it's a little bit less than what I paid for it, then everybody wins. So I don't know what I'm going to do with it. Anyway, I'm babbling in a circle. This is the start of the long goodbye. You guys know how that goes for me. Anyway, so I might end up making 2 or 3 tops and then just picking which one I want to finish right away. Or 2 or 3 things. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. Well, no, okay, back up. I do know what I'm going to do with it in terms of making a quilt. I don't know what I'm going to do with it in terms of other projects. I need a helper again. That's what I need. I need all this tariff and Canada Post crap to settle itself down so that I can get back to business. And then I need to find somebody who I can drag into this house, chained to a fucking machine, and then start. But anyway, but I digress. Anyway, this is the next project. This is going to be the next project. I will say there's a few fabrics that I was going to bring out, and just anybody wants some, let me know. And then all the tariff and shit happened. So, okay. Canada Post is going to be an ongoing problem until at least January. And if they go on strike over Christmas, yeah. Well, I mean, I would send you a couple of yards of this to Kentucky, but I do not believe it would get there. Not right now. Okay, I believe it would get there, but like to send through regular mail right now, there's the possibility of having to pay a tariff. And then to send it through Canada Post is a possibility it's going to get hung up in a freaking warehouse. And they are so slow. Oh my God, people are in my Etsy group every day. I put this in the mail and this is not moving. But anyway, I don't know. I have not fully decided exactly what kind of a quilt top I'm going to make out of this, but I want to make a big one. I want to so this is going to be like a 10-inch by 20-inch piece with a 10-inch by, well, it's going to look like that. It's going to look like that. It's going to be those two together, right? You just kind of mentally take those out. So it's going to be those two, 20 by 20. And if I do 9 of them, it's a couch. If I do 3 by 3, it's a couch throw. If I do 3 by 4, it's still a couch throw. If I do 4 by 6, it's kind of a single blanket. Yeah, I don't know if I want to do. I mean, I might do that. I think the problem for me is just deciding like how much do I actually want to get out of it, and how important is it for me to get that out of it. I want to get back. I'm not 100%. I'm not 100% sure how much I want to get back to the shop because I want to get back to the shop because it gives me something to do, but I'm not 100% committed that I want to work it at the same level that I used to. So I don't know what I would end up doing. Come here, monster. Come here. Are you getting a sense of the time? There, look at that. Look, there you are. There's Bruno. Look at you. Look at you being a bum. I have a feeling that I need to do I said the word. I said Goodbye. He knows what that means. What you doing? You having a spasm? He is tending towards little muscle spasms like that these days. Doesn't hurt him. It doesn't hurt him, and it only happens when he's tired, but he's an old man now, my poor little old guy. Okay, can't go. I know you can't. You know you can't go on the table. So it's okay. You all done? Are we all done? Shayla is just like, look at this one. Look at this one over here. She is just like, leave me alone. When it's time to, I will wake up and get out of this spot when it's time to actually go somewhere. She's been there all afternoon. You okay, baby? Are you jealous? He is. He's jealous. He's jealous. Okay, guys, I gotta get going. If I don't get off my ass in the next couple of minutes, Mr. Berkey boy is gonna start all over again. Are you gonna start all over again? You okay? He's like, now that he's up, he doesn't know what to do. Anyway, thanks for hanging out with me, guys. I really was hoping to get the violet. I think those are violets. I was really hoping to get those done to start working on that one. So, but that's going to be, I will try to, I will remember to come live when I'm working on that one. We're going to work on this one. This one here is going to be decide on the border on whether to make it bigger or smaller, and then finish it. The back is just going to be more of the black. I've got tons of it. I don't have. Oh, absolutely, Trisha. Yeah, the back is just going to be more of the black. I'll try to get a photo up once it's finished. I think we're working on it this weekend. Now that the top is done, with or without the border, I can store it. But yeah, that was really, I actually am really proud of myself for fixing that and not, because you can't, I mean, you guys can't really tell on the camera, but there's no, if you didn't know, you'd never find out, which is nice, because I don't usually have to replace pieces that are that big. So that actually worked out to be a fun little practice exercise, a skill testing exercise. Anyway, I got my little mouse here so I can click the thing. Are you ready to go outside? Yeah, I'm gonna go outside. Yeah, now he's looking at the door. He's like, oh, is the door about to open? Anyway, guys, thanks for hanging out with me. I will catch you in the next one. I'll definitely be back next week, so I'll see you then. Bye. Oh, I still have to do that. There's a pop-up that I have to click on, and I always forget that I can do the pop-up first and then say goodbye. Okay, bye. Come on, baby.